Welcome into Caldwell County today. I'm your host for the day, Keegan Matheson, and we are joined by Amorem people. My goodness, Crystal Birch and Megan Perillo. Fantastic for you to join me today, and I just wanted to say, y'all formerly were called Caldwell Hospice and Palliative Care.
That is correct.
And now you're Amorem, so just talk briefly about the new name and merge and that kind of deal.
So we merged last year in May, and we have always worked really closely with Burke Hospice, and they approached us about merging, and you do better, and you're better in numbers, and so we all took on the merger together, and we've been working it out ever since, but everything is working really well now. I think we've worked through most of our kinks, and we're selling together really good. I'm in the Hudson office, and Megan is in the Burke office.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Cool deal. So how long did it take you personally to get the change right?
I'm still working on the name part of it. I always refer to hospice with it, so you'll have to excuse me if I say that several times, but it's been a work in progress.
It looks like you just celebrated your first year, a whole year of being called Amorem. Is that correct?
We have. We just celebrated.
That's incredible. That's awesome. So how many volunteers does Amorem have?
We have about 250 volunteers spread out throughout the 12 counties.
That's a crazy number.
Yes.
And you said 12 counties, right?
Yes.
So y'all are a big organization. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how many counties does Amorem serve again?
12.
12.
Yes.
Okay. So what about the campus and locations? What about in Caldwell County specifically? How many locations do you guys have?
So we have the campus in Lenoir, which is our Kirkwood, and we have the one in Hudson. We also have one in the High Country, which is in Boone, and then we have the one in Valdez.
Okay. So what are the requirements to be an adult volunteer?
So to be an adult volunteer, you have to be 18 or older. Volunteers just need to attend a local high school, and Crystal will talk more about the volunteer program. And then you need to attend a 12-hour training, which is usually split up around a few days. And then you must obtain 4 hours of volunteer service throughout a year, and then there needs to be 2 hours of continuing education per year.
Okay.
And then we do require the COVID and flu vaccines.
Okay. So what exactly, how is that training like? Have you taken it personally? I'm sure you have, to be where you are.
Yes.
So you have first-hand experience. What would they kind of have to expect?
So right now, because of COVID restrictions, we are doing the trainings by Zoom.
Okay.
And we have different staff members who specialize in different areas who will come and present and talk about just kind of different topics and different education that these volunteers need when they're serving families.
Awesome. So how many trainings do you do a year?
3. We do one usually in the spring, the summer, and the fall.
Okay. Cool deal. So why do most volunteers do what they do? What attracts them to Amorem?
From my perspective, I get a lot of people. My office is right there on the patient care unit, and a lot of families that are there with their loved ones are usually coming up, and they're very grateful and appreciative of what they have experienced as a family, so they want to give back to the community. A lot of them are like, what can I do to help? You guys have been awesome here. You've helped my family. We just want to do something to give back. So I always am like, you can come through volunteer training, and there's so many different areas they can volunteer in. So we usually talk to them about that. We give them the upcoming training flyer, and then they usually call us when they're ready. Mm-hmm. Especially if they are there with the loved one. They're probably not ready right then. But they do call us. We go ahead and get their name and telephone number and put them on a list and call them on our next training. And, see if they're ready to volunteer then.
Right. So you mentioned that there were different types of positions that they could fill. Do you know any of the different ones that they could?
Yes. If we don't have COVID restrictions, we have volunteers serving in the homes. So they're a patient family volunteer. They are assigned to go out to the patient's home. Either me, Megan, or Cindy will go with them, introduce them to the family. We match them with their volunteer, kind of get information from the social worker. They're on the forefront filling out all the information, and we get their information and we match them as a volunteer. We take them out there as a patient family volunteer. They can do grounds maintenance, our patient care unit. Of course, they can volunteer in the office, in our dietary. They can help with planting flowers, office work, our reception desk, which is really one of the big areas we need volunteers right now, is screening volunteers to come in and visit patients on the patient care unit.
Okay, cool deal. And you're always looking for carolers, right?
Yes.
When it comes Christmas time, you always
Yes,
have
most
people going
definitely
around.
some caroling. And that's one of the ways the volunteers actually volunteer is
Okay.
they'll go. Of course, we get permission from the patient. If they want someone in their room, we'll do it up in the living room or whatever. But that is a way I use a lot of the volunteers.
I mean, it's an unenviable task that you guys
Yes.
have. I mean, you're dealing with people in the twilight years of their life, and just you try to make that process as easy as possible, and that's just something that's we can respect here at Caldwell County and everywhere. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
So it says here you have some virtual volunteer team training. You want
Yes.
to talk about that a little bit?
Actually, it's going to be with our next training coming up with adults. We're going to have one training in August, and they'll come through and they go through the exact training that the adults do. So they'll get a Zoom link, and our staff will be presenting. So they'll just get online, and we'll get them going through the presentations. We'll have our CEO will be speaking and giving a lot of the history of our organization. One of our social workers, our nurses, our chaplains, our bereavement support specialists, they all talk about an hour each, and they talk about what they will be expected to do and what they'll be experiencing and how to handle those situations.
Awesome. So if anybody wants to contact you or Amorem in general, where do they go?
If they want to call, we have one telephone number, which is 828-754-0101, and they can ask for volunteer services. And one of the three of us will get that phone call, and we'll be glad to direct them in the path they need to get on our training list.
Awesome. Did I miss anything, ladies?
I don't think so. They're welcome to email us if they need to email us. We have all that information on our website, and you guys will probably put that up as well. But calling us, they can drop by the office and ask for somebody in volunteer services, or emailing us or looking on our website.
Awesome. Well, Megan, Crystal, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank
and I appreciate you watching this edition of Caldwell County Today.